Exactly a few minutes after 4 o'clock, right here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Good afternoon. I trust you've had a wonderful day and that your Thursday is going well this 23rd day of January 2025. Thank you for staying with TV47. Let's get you informed, and thank you so much for staying with us. Time now for news now. And we will begin with our top story at this hour, which is regarding the former Deputy President, that is Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua, whose cases have resumed today, and the hearing of several petitions challenging the impeachment and eventual ouster and removal of Rigathi Gachagua as Deputy President has resumed. The cases were adjourned in December 2024 to allow Gachagua to pursue an appeal challenging the powers of Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu to appoint a 3-judge bench to determine the petitions. Take a look.
Public interest in the current proceedings. It's equally important for us to appreciate that the matter that is pending before the Court of Appeal equally generates serious public interest. Public interest stems all the way from this court all the way to the hierarchy. It is in the interest of the members of the public for the Court of Appeal to determine that very fundamental question of how this bench was constituted. Number 2, my lords, my lady, the desire to sit, if invited to do so by the respondent, will be tantamount to ousting the jurisdiction of the Court of Appeal. You will simply be closing your eyes to the fact that a court, a superior court, is seized of a very fundamental question that ought to be determined before these proceedings are completely exhausted before you. My lords, my lady, it then means that if you're invited to hold in favor of the respondent's submissions, you'll be rendering the appeal nugatory and an academic exercise. That is to mean, my ladies, my lords, that the court is being invited to be oblivious of the fact that there is a fundamental question that has not been answered by a superior court. There has never been delay in these proceedings, and the public interest has not dissipated in respect to these current proceedings. All what we are asking is the court.
Now, still on matters courts, and the High Court has refused to set aside orders requiring the personal appearance of Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and DCI Director Mohammed Amin in court over the alleged abduction and disappearance of 3 men in Mlolongo in December of last year. The 2 were summoned to court last week and instructed to appear in person and produce the 3 missing men, that is Justice Mutumwa, Martin Mwao and Karani Mwema. Justice Chacha has ordered both Kanja and Amin to appear in court on Thursday next week and provide the whereabouts of the 3 young men.
Third and fourth petitioners' rights and fundamental freedoms. During the hearing, Mr. Onyamodi argued that although the petitioners did not say that the first and second respondents were holding them, command over the National Police Service and performs any other functions prescribed by national legislation. That's Article 245, written law from time to time. Other than the duties specifically stipulated in the Act, the only other duties police officers can perform are those prescribed by the first respondent. On the other hand, Section 28 of the Act establishes the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, which is under the direction, command, and control of the first respondent. The Directorate is headed by the Director of Criminal Investigations, the second respondent, but is responsible to the first respondent. The functions of the Directorate are outlined in Section 35 of the Act. They include undertaking investigations on serious crimes, including homicide, narcotic crimes, human trafficking, money laundering, terrorism, economic crimes, piracy, organized crime, and cyber crime, among others. It follows that only officers under the command of the first respondent and the Directorate, headed by the second respondent, are authorized by law to apprehend offenders. The statute uses the words apprehend, which is also means to arrest. It would be just unreasonable to set aside or vary the judgment or orders, and if necessary, upon terms to be imposed.
Away from that, the Ministry of Health, through Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni, has announced the launch of a targeted vaccination campaign aimed at high-risk groups, including truck drivers, healthcare workers, and individuals who have had close contact with confirmed cases. In addition, the public awareness campaigns are being rolled out to combat misinformation and provide accurate information to the public. Since the first cases of Mpox were reported in July 2024, a total of 36 confirmed cases have been recorded, with the highest numbers in Nakuru, Mombasa, and Busia.
To further strengthen the ongoing prevention measures, the ministry is set to roll out the Mpox vaccination, targeting high-risk groups such as contacts of confirmed cases and population that are most at risk of contracting the disease. The media plays a critical role in the key intervention, and we therefore request that you provide accurate factual information to also curb Mpox vaccination infodemics.
Mpox has not only impacted individuals and families, but also exposed the vulnerabilities in the healthcare systems, underscoring the importance of sustained investments in preparedness and response across the whole region. In Kenya, our efforts have been focused on prevention, containment, and raising awareness to protect the health and well-being of all Kenyans. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with WHO and our partners, UNICEF, IOM, Africa CDC, and others, have made significant progress in surveillance, raising awareness, managing misinformation and disinformation, sourcing vaccines, building capacity for health workers, and community sensitization.
Let's take you to Nakuru County, where human rights groups from Nakuru have come forward to demand justice and have submitted a petition to the Nakuru court requesting that the Kenya Wildlife Service KWS removes a young man who went missing after being apprehended by KWS officers at Nakuru National Park. Let's have a look. Story later in our subsequent bulletins coming in from Nakuru. But away from that, let's bring you to matters sports. Let's get sporty. To matters FKF, the FKF Youth League Championship finals are scheduled for this weekend and will be played across 15 different centers nationwide. This year's edition of the championship features a total of 786 teams competing in various categories, including under 13, under 15, and under 17. The tournament is aimed at nurturing young talent from across the country.
They were under 17, this Coca-Cola Cup, and it was, bringing youths together, playing, enjoying, and seeing the talent. You just want something bigger than that, and something big to tap all areas in this country, and see more players growing, more players enjoying, with the passion, more players, having that, thinking for future and having in mind that they can be, one day they can be big players. They can play where we've reached or where we've played. And it's a dream, and we want their dream to be, to be very, very, we nurture them and their dream to be very big.
Now in a That is where we wind up News Now for today. My name is George Maringa. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay safe and be kind to one another. I'll see you next time.